Hi, I'm Tanya Cullen and I'm a middle school and senior teacher at Glasshouse Christian College. My subject areas are business and legal studies. A couple of years ago I had some time off from teaching, and when I came back I was really challenged to see how much technology had changed and how I had to adapt to this as a teacher. If I'm challenged as much as I am, how are the students adapting and coping, and how is it going to change my teaching to actually prepare them for the world beyond school? So curriculum design became a bit of an area of passion, and I realised that it's probably the key area for me where I can really affect change for my students. I'm really excited to be a teacher in this, at this time, at this place, because I'm encouraged to step out of my comfort zone and to explore ways to actually improve my teaching and to actually draw out of my students the best learning that they can achieve. For example, instead of coming up with a standard report to prepare and present for their assignment, how about we try something a little different and actually use iBooks, where we then have the potential to publish their work to the rest of the world, to a real life audience. The students were a little bit reluctant, for some in particular, because it was so different and so out of their comfort zone. And what I found is that students are really good at learning how to be students, but when it comes to actually having to learn for themselves and what that learning can, where that learning can take them, some students wanted to embrace this, others that's not going to guarantee me an A. So for me it was a case of going, right, this is something different, this is something new, we're going to try it, we might fail at it, but in the long run you will have a more valuable learning outcome. For me personally, I was nervous to start this journey into an unknown. I was exposed to iBooks a little through Dan the Appleman and my participation in the Towards Transformation program last year. And this really inspired me, particularly to try different things, to look beyond assessment as being something that is compulsory and just teachers have to do and students have to do and to get grades and reports. But for us to actually learn, for me personally to learn through the Towards Transformation program and then to come back to the classroom and apply it, that was a big step outside of my comfort zone. So I could understand where the students were coming from, but together we actually got on and we experimented. There were successes, there were failures, but overall it was deep learning and teaching that was taking place. With one student in particular who was a little bit more advanced with the iBooks, I encouraged her to use Google Classroom to actually post information on how to do a particular thing. So this came in the form of adding a video clip and a sound clip to her iBook, and other students then responded by, they either went and applied the information she had taught them, other students put in little tips and tricks about what they had discovered, because at the end of the day we were all exploring this together. So I've been asked whether I'd use iBooks again, and I think I will, because the learning potential is there and it's that ability to push something out to the rest of the world, and it gives a real life audience for the students to really take on the learning, the ownership of their projects, and to then see where it can take them. What came from the experimentation of iBooks was giving the students the opportunity to collaborate, and whilst they were learning a new technology in terms of iBooks, they were also, unbeknownst to them, experiencing learning on different levels with the use of Google Classroom. So their ability to collaborate, it was a case of they came into the classroom, they opened their laptops, they opened shared documents, they were communicating via post to each other, and they were actually taking this on for themselves. I've become a big fan of Google Classroom because of it removes the onus on the teacher to deliver all the content, and instead it puts the onus back on the students to actually drive their learning and to see where it can take them. So an example of getting authentic feedback and using Google Forms was a student in legal studies, currently has the topic of should Australia become a republic? And one of his ideas was, well, how do I get primary source information from this? Came up with the idea, yep, Google Forms is probably a really good answer and a really great way to do that. So within minutes, he had pushed out 2 surveys, one to staff, one to students. And within seconds of that, he was getting instant feedback on these questions. It was really exciting for me as a teacher to see the real life application of this experience, and that he was starting to form his argument for and against the topic in view of this instant feedback that he was getting. We were also at GCC encouraged to go paperless, and with this, I'm trying to find ways to actually do this more effectively. Google Classroom meets this need for me, and that it allows me to actually have a one-stop shop for my students. I can post an assignment on there, I can schedule it to actually release at a certain time. The students then download this assignment. It's all in one place on one document that they can share if they need to, and then it's turned in. I can draft it by adding in comments. They can respond to the comments. I can see that they're actually working on the assessment. I can check for latest changes, etc. And to actually just create an assignment and to create a whole flow that encourages efficiency, and that I actually don't print very many assignments at all these days. I'm also excited about the opportunity to join the DeLorean team this year as a facilitator, and what this can mean for me whilst in the DeLorean project space, and how I can take things that we've learned and developed there and take them back and apply them to my classrooms. And I've seen many ways that I can do this in the understanding of the needs of the learner, and being able to try different things in the DeLorean space, and then to come back to my classroom and give it a go there with either a younger grade or an older grade or a more specific topic. It's exciting to see how, when you do just step out of that comfort zone just a little bit, that there are rewards for me as a teacher and for my students as a learner. And it's not about the marks at the end of the day, it's actually about preparing them as citizens for the real world beyond our college. I'm excited to actually look at ways that I can change my teaching, and for me, it's not very conservative on very many days. I flip the learning quite a bit. I put the onus of control back onto the students, and I'll do my job, but I also encourage students to start taking on learning for themselves, not just to student and to know the ropes and to know what hoops to jump through to get that A or that B, but to actually start to learn at a really deep level that is for life. This isn't just until, to pass this year or until this report card. It's actually information, and it's skills, and it's practical ways for students to actually take what I can teach them and what I can inspire them with, to take that beyond my classrooms and into the real world.